What I've learned so far by being involved in the Student Equity Collective is that there's always people trying to combat hate and discrimination entire the whole of the TDSB.
There's lots of people that you can turn to when you're facing things like discrimination, racism, or you need help. And I feel like being involved in it, I've learned that it's okay to turn to someone for help, or it's okay to ask for help.
I've learned a lot about different perspectives. Like, I'm Jewish. I know a lot about fighting anti-Semitism. I don't know a lot about fighting other forms of racism and discrimination. So in that sense, it's definitely been a good learning experience.
Just stand up for the right things, and also don't be ashamed of your culture, because everybody has something, and you could just speak up to it and just say what's on your mind.
I am excellent.
I am excellent.
Because I am capable.
Because I am capable.
I am powerful.
I am powerful.
I am an agent of change.
I am an agent of change.
I am my ancestors' wildest dreams.
I am my ancestors' wildest dreams.
I am strong.
I am strong.
I am resilient.
I am resilient.
I am amazing.
I am amazing.
I am special.
I am special.
And I am unique.
And I am unique.
So what I personally believe is you can't wait for activism or change to happen. You have to be the one doing it, and it's you're the one waiting for it. Are you waiting for change, or are you going to just make it happen? And that's how I believe it's, how I interpret the quote.
Firstly, talking about how everyone's always waiting for a superhero growing up. We are the ones we have been waiting for talks about how we can be our own superheroes and represent our own selves, right? And then we also mentioned an aspect of the quote that says we, which addresses us, all of us together, meaning a community. But we also talked about an aspect of where we can't necessarily represent everyone, because everyone has different intersectionalities. So you can be a Black disabled person, you can be a Black Muslim, a Black woman, etc., on and on.
We are the generation to make change that our ancestors couldn't. And that we don't wait for anyone to make the change, that we have to do it ourselves. And we also brought up a quote that a family member told us and said, if you rely on others, you'll be disappointed half of the time.
You know how many students applied to be a part of the Student Equity Collective? Do you know how many students applied to be in your shoes? Do you know how many students applied to be here and you made it? Give yourselves a round of applause, please. Right? Because even if it's one person, that is legacy right there. One person can be changed by what you've done. That is legacy right there. But the other thing to think about is what we're doing here with the Student Equity Collective is we're planting seeds. And think of this seed that you're planting as something that you may not benefit from eating from the fruits of the tree that you plant. You might not benefit from eating the fruit of the seed that you've planted, but someone somewhere down the line will benefit, and that they'll also have the opportunity to sit under that tree and be within the shade under that tree that you've planted. And it may not be you, it may not be your younger sibling, it may not be the next generation, maybe 2, 3, 4 generations later, hopefully sooner. But at the end of the day, think of legacy as something that we create every single day.
We're basically working on creating a poster that sort of encompasses our idea of anti-bullying, but specifically anti-cyberbullying.
Basically, it's giving resources to people who are dealing with cyberbullying compared to some other approaches that people have taken to combat cyberbullying. We have multiple different routes that people can take.
We're basically making up a whole site full of resources and helpful tips that can help with people who are facing cyberbullying. And so, in doing so, we hope that individuals who are facing cyberbullying or are going through cyberbullying are able to utilize these resources to further benefit themselves.
So basically, we are the spoken word group, and our role here in the collective is basically using the medium of words and rhymes and just overall communication to communicate our goals and drives and passions for equity within the collective.
I think that Our work is not necessarily like one concrete action that we're saying, yes, this will for sure make a change. I think what we're hoping more so is that the people who hear this, not only those in power, but those who hope that those in power will make some changes, will hear this and think that, oh, I can also advocate for this. I can communicate what my hopes and my dreams, and I can tell the people in power that this is what I need from them and this is what I hope they will do. And then at the showcase itself, I guess we're hoping that the board members who hear our passions and our thoughts and our needs, I hope that they hear this, and even if it doesn't manifest right away in big changes, I guess we hope that they hear this and think that they need to do something about it.
I think our end goal is to be able to display our individual pieces and our collective piece and try and change something, show them our perspective of how we feel about the human right policy and our opinions and our individual pieces.
I can add on to that. I think we really want to connect with other students in the TDSB so they can hear our experiences and know that, like, if they have the same experiences, that they're not alone and that there is actions that can be taken. And if they haven't had those experiences, then they can learn from our experiences. And for example, if they were the wrong person in that situation, they can know how to do better the next time, and also to communicate to the Board of Trustees and all of the adults who are in power at the TDSB what we are feeling, what is actually happening here, and how they can change it in the future to make it better for all students and staff.
In Section 9 of the Equity Policy, it is outlined that at least every 2 years, each student from grades 4 to 12, parent/guardian, and staff will be anonymously surveyed about their experience within school climates with a focus on positive school climates, acceptance, inclusion, well-being, equity, and safety. Seeing that TDSB is one of the only school boards that collects race-based data, even though it's limited, how do you think that will help foster equitable learning environments?
If we want to best serve our community, we need to know more about them. Just like we collect information about the ages of students, their experiences, the languages spoken, and other aspects of their identity, we know that learning about their race can help us identify gaps in their learning and their experiences. I think about famous writer James Baldwin, who said, "We can't fix what we can't face," which means what we can't see. The collection of this data helps us to monitor whether or not we're actually serving all of our students well. I see all aspects of data, specifically race and other aspects of identity, as both a mirror and a window. A mirror of where we are and what we're achieving in the experiences of our students, but also a window into how we can better serve them.
This time with us answering our very important questions. It was lovely meeting you here.
Here we go. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're professional.
Got it done on time.
So
That's good.
calm.
Okay.
I hope it doesn't disappoint, and I can't wait for your feedback on the policy.
Yes, thank you so much for
Really
taking
exciting.
the time. We just interviewed the Honorable Jean Augustine. She's so cool. She did a lot of accomplishments, and we just asked her like a bit about her accomplishments and what she thought and like what advice she can give. Can you walk us through the process and challenges you faced while trying to make February Black History Month?
Because I was a teacher that was teaching social studies, Nada. And I taught nothing about indigenous peoples. I taught nothing about land claims. I taught nothing about treaties. I taught nothing about residential schools. The same with African Canadian community. There was nothing in the textbook. There was something a little bit about the underground railroad, a little bit about, but there was nothing that really spoke to the time that we were here since 1603. We had some conflicts around boneless beef, softwood lumber, ice cream and yogurt, And so those were the things that were being asked in question period. Those were the issues that members were rolling up their sleeves and gearing up to discuss. And there was Augustine coming along saying, well, we need to teach the history of Black people. And some of them laughed me out of the room. Some of them made fun of me, like, so you want Black History Month? When are we going to have White History Month, Augustine? And so you have a little bit of a comeback. I would say, I thought every day was White History Month, and you make it things so that you can begin to have a real discussion.
Got an insight onto her personal opinion, like we asked. The media reports this, and this about Black History Month, but she went into it and said that she needs to have thick skin to get that through. So I think it means so much to all of us in the collective, everyone in Canada, that she was able to make Black History Month a thing.
I'm just gonna say Rishi has been wanting to speak to the Honorable Jean Augustine since the beginning of the collective. So this is a big thing.
So Yemi, where are we right now?
The Royal Ontario Museum.
And what are we doing inside the Royal Ontario Museum?
We were just featured on CP24 discussing what we do with the TDSB Student Equity Collective.
A brand new committee of 24 students have been working on a positive initiative to combat hate, racism, and discrimination in the TDSB. So for more on this, we're joined live this morning by Jian Lee at the Royal Ontario Museum to talk about the Student Equity Collective. Gee, this sounds fascinating, and what a setting for it.
How would you say that experience was for you to be speaking live about the work that we've been doing within the collective?
It was amazing to share just a little bit of what we do and the impact that it has made so far.
I just wanted to know, why did you think it was important to share this, the work that the TDSB Student Equity Collective is doing?
Well, I feel like coming out of the pandemic especially, a lot of students suffered at that time. And there's just a lot going on, and we know that these problems have existed for a long time, but I just thought it was brilliant that the school board decided to bring students into the discussion and create a committee of students to help students. I think that is the best way you'll be able to combat hate, racism, and discrimination, because it's the students that are there in the front lines. They're experiencing these things, witnessing these things firsthand, and they're also the brilliant minds that are going to come up with solutions. Like, I truly believe that we should be investing in our children and youth, because they are the ones who I personally think are going to change the world. So it was really important for me to highlight this.
Thank you so much, everybody.
This is for you.
Oh my goodness.
We have a special shirt for yourself to wear.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I'm so proud of all of you. Thank you so much.
Knowledge is power. And through the Equity Collective, I have learned that knowledge is truly power. Through being in this collective, I have learned a great deal about equity, about policies, about different individuals and higher powers within the TDSB. And I've learned all of what they do, and that has in turn assisted me in terms of what I wish to do and aspire to do. So the greatest thing I learned in the Equity Collective is the fact that knowledge is power. And in practice, through all the different students in the TDSB, and if we practice that statement of knowledge is power, we'll be able to uplift every single student in the TDSB, no matter their gender, religion, race, ethnic group, no matter anything. They'll be able to be uplifted through knowledge is power.